Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with another daily slash what's it called? Sorry guys, I like move this from all over the place. Like this does not stand here like throughout the days. So it's like every time I put it back up I have to readjust it. Yeah, so welcome back to another read. I'm going to shuffle these cards on screen because that's what I was getting. What did I want to say? I wanted to say my hair's all crazy because I literally just had, I'm like so excited. All right, they're telling me just like get into it. I was like, okay. All right. So, all right, so let me just put in the prayer. Do I say it out loud? Okay, no, they're telling me to quiet it down because I do have to ground. So give me 1 second, guys. I'm just doing it in a comfortable way. Okay. Oh, I was just about to freaking shuffle too. All right, so it's for my highest best good to stop shuffling the cards right here right now. Okay. Today has been so fucking just like not a bad day at all. It's just it's been like super personal growth-ish, okay? So basically I was just like literally gonna move on, but thank God I didn't, in terms of still keep shuffling, or else that might have taken a whole long time, or longer than expected. So getting right into it, what was I gonna say? Hold on 1 second. Are we doing 2 cards only today? Okay, yes. Ooh, I felt it in my heart. Okay. So here's the King of Spades came out, which is beautiful. King of Spades to me has a lot to do with, for some reason I'm thinking of like Aries or Capricorn when I see this. But it has a lot to do with you. Okay, so what I want to say is you've made decisions with your heart today in terms of how to less guard it, okay? So it's kind of like, and there could also have been clarity that like stemmed from your heart that you literally gifted back to your heart to be like, okay, I'm with you on this. You know what I'm saying? So you're basically taking charge of your heart. You're basically interesting on a small level. It has a lot to do with self-respect, which is also very big. It's very big on a grand level. So when it comes down to it, this also, what I'm getting is boundaries, like for the career. Like you might have just, and oh, it's interesting. Capricorn are like the workaholics of the zodiac. Okay, so and Aries are pretty freaking workhorses as well, right? Or work. I was gonna say lambs. Not lambs. Goats, okay? So yeah, they're pretty much goats too. But what was I gonna say? When it comes down to it, this is like you putting boundaries up towards your work, like because you're siding with your heart. So it's like, and not to say that you're not, like when you work, you side with your heart too. But I feel like you've been putting a lot of work into your life. And so now it's kind of like you're siding with your heart to be like, okay, I need to figure out a way to actually give myself time for a breather, to give myself some time off, that type of thing, which is actually, so it's like, what I want to say, it's like climbing up energy. It's like, again, when I said personal growth, it's like ascending energy. You're going somewhere, right? But also, what did I want to say with this? But you're also like kind of like keeping it balanced where you're like, okay, now I have to slow my roll a little bit, right? So it's like you're still successful, but you're kind of balancing it out with, instead of like you pursuing everything and anything, it's like, okay, now I have to take time to rebalance my life and not have it be all work, but more so, but be more so balanced in terms of what I really want, which could be, you know, for other people, like, it doesn't, you only know where you lack in your life, okay, or what your heart wants more of, okay. So for me, it was fun. I was like saying a lot of that today. I was like, okay, God, like I'm like very grateful for this life, but I know that I can have a lot more fun potential, okay? And it's not that I'm not having fun. I actually am, like, literally, I have fun on such a simple level, but it's kind of like I've been doing that for so long where it's just like, okay, that's been stabilized, that's been like gratitudized, you know, and like everything in that sense. But it's like I also can't ignore the fact that I personally love change, and I like change a lot. I like adventure, and it's just like, and I like surprises, and I like all the fun stuff, you know what I'm saying? So with me, I just feel like I just want something a little different, right? So I just kind of like honored that in my heart. And when you think of a sword too, it's kind of like, not only is it clarity or protection, but it's an honoring, because it's kind of like, you know, when the queen kind of dons somebody with the title of like knight, right? So it's kind of like that, like you honor your heart by also using the sword in a sense. Do I look into the book right now for this? Okay. No, they're like, nope, you got it. Okay. So, and this made its way deeply into the heart, because again, I like to see the spade as more of it's a heart-based type of shape with something kind of going through it. So it's kind of like an acupuncture pressure point going through, or more so like Cupid's arrow going through, or something that like pierced it in it could be either good or bad. I keep it real, you know what I'm saying, like with whatever I feel. But in this case, it's actually not bad. It's like, because you've already been you've been through that stuff, like that you've been through it all, I want to say, for like a very long amount of time. So you're healed from it, but this is more so like, it's kind of like you're aiming your heart, or you're aiming with your heart at something that your heart really wants. And you're kind of giving it to it. It's kind of like, you know, when you give a kid like just all that you want, you're like, oh, it's my kid, I want to spoil it. It's like, yeah, that's what you're doing to your heart today. You're like, you know what, it's my heart, I want to do what with it whatever I want. That's basically what it is. You know what I'm saying? My hair is totally pissing me off, but you know what, today is an imperfect day because because I was like, yo, it's Sunday, I don't give a damn, right? So I was like, today's a relaxation day, so this is why I came on. And I was urged to come on because I was out for a little bit, and I was like, and the A-team was telling me like 8 o'clock go on, and I was like, damn, it's fucking a little after 8. So I was just trying to rush on here. All right, so is there more to this at all? Okay, well, they're telling me victorious because of these flags back here. So it's kind of like you've literally managed to listen to your heart even through all the bullshit that you've been through, and you've conquered managing your heart in terms of the emotions, but also the aspect of you simply listening to your heart, right? Like, because of the fact that it's important. So that's what you were doing here. You were just like, you know what? You found the importance of you listening to your heart and calling it a day. Like, you're just like, listen, I'm gonna just have to start. Not that you haven't. Again, I keep saying that because I know you follow your heart a lot, but the whole thing is, it's like now it's time to really kind of get just obtain what you've been lacking in. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, before it was more like you were listening to your heart in terms of prep work, and now it's listening to your heart after, like, go after what it is you actually want or your heart wants. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah. So I think that's it. I think that's, yeah. And you're cool about it. Like, these are cool colors. You're, like, cool, calm, and collected about it. You're like, all right, now I get it. Get it. It's like, again, clarity. Cool, calm, collected. Clarity coming in. It's like, you get it. And you're like kind of even, well, with the Aries or the Capricorn type of energy, it's kind of like on a inner level, you're actually determined, right, to go after it. So it's really beautiful. And blues are definitely feng shui colors in the career aspect of your life. So it's really interesting. I didn't even realize like how much blue, like the blue persona I took on today without even like realizing that it was the career day, and I just like intuitively was doing that. So maybe maybe you did that as well in terms of wearing either black or blue, or a combination of that, because of the fact that I know fashion-wise people say don't do that, but I actually don't mind it. Like I used to mind it because my Capricorn like self was like, no, you know what I'm saying? Like they're too fucking close in color. But actually, you can do it really right. Like there's a right way to do it. Just like with brown and black, I kind of like that too. Like it's something I grew into. I don't know. The next card on a yang level, so that was yin, in case I didn't say it, or in case you didn't pick up on it. On a yang level is 3 of diamonds. Okay, very interesting. This came up very recently too in one of the readings, and I remember it being a yin, but now it's yang. So that's interesting. What I'm getting here is immediately I'm seeing like a doorway has opened. Okay. 3 has been coming up too. 3 is the number of, what the heck is going on? 3's, sorry guys, look at that craziness. Let me just make it a little bit more stabilized. I think that's good. I don't know. So what was I gonna say? So so there's a doorway, right? There's like, for me, there's like kind of like a doorway that's been opened, kind of like an entrance, a gateway in terms of crossing through. And that could have been today. Also, very interesting the way that I'm seeing it now. Wow. This is a divine, and if I can call it a divine mother, okay? I'm like shaking everything. There's shakeups going on in the universe, probably. This is what's, I mean, but in a good way. So, long story short, I'm seeing this as a divine mother of sorts, like divine, ascended master or a goddess or a queen or somebody that, or like an empress that had lived, kind of like a past life. Okay, not that you've lived a past life with, but kind of just like a guide, like a spirit guide. Okay. And so this person is actually putting these 2 people together. And I want to say it's going to be creatively, because it's, again, the 3 of diamonds. So it's like literally, it's creatively, 3 is like absolutely love. There's something else. I'm like, do I look it up what the 3 means? No. All right. So do I also look it up in the book? No. All right. They're telling me not to. We're on a roll. This is what they're telling me. We are on a roll, and I feel that too. But I just want to double check because in case, you know, because sometimes you got to check your ego. Actually, a lot of times you got to check your ego and make sure that you're like putting yourself to the side rather than getting in your own way. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to it, what else? So 2 people are being brought together to work on something kind of bigger in creation. Okay. So this is kind of like, but it's also in creation for the world. This is for like others. This is for like community. This is for like even the world community is what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? What I'm hearing is justice. It's like to bring justice to some sort of maybe issue or problem that needs to be solved, right, in a loving way. Also, what I want to say, it's like very profitable, but it's also very prophetic, okay? It's like this prophetic in terms of positively prophetic, because of the fact that, you know, it's kind of like, this is what I kind of believe in, right? It's like when we're born, we're kind of given a divine purpose, but then we're also given the free will to kind of do whatever the fuck we want with our life. So it's half and half, right? So lately, it's funny, one of the readers, or I've been coming across a lot of videos on, you know, in regards to tarot that says, answer the call, okay? So it's kind of like at one point in your life, I feel as though there is a calling that you're being guided towards, and so right around now is the time to kind of answer that call, okay? And I think I've been seeing it specifically either today or yesterday, but very recently. And so I want to say that, like, by two people being brought together, they're literally answering their own calls in terms of what's in their heart and what they want to fulfill in their heart, emotionally speaking. But also they are being brought together to kind of do something simultaneously for themselves and then for the Grandmaster G, right? And the universe and the world. So it's kind of like a twofer, and it's a really awesome win-win situation. Okay, so it's like literally everybody fucking wins because two people are brought together who really can harmonize really well when it comes to, you know, divine love, divine money, divine divine wisdom, divine love, divine inner peace, you know, of all kinds, positivity, kindness, faith, and so on, right? And so basically they're being brought together. Very interesting because they're being brought together to do this calling, okay? Because it's like, again, the divine timing is now for that to kind of kick in. So today you may feel, and this is very interesting too, I'm getting rest. You may feel like you need more rest. Like this is like a resting sword too. So it's kind of like you're kind of like stopping the go battle within yourself, and you're like putting your sword down to rest a little bit, right? So because this is coming up actually, right? This entire like, you know, this entire just energy is a greater energy is coming in. That's how I see it. That's also very flourishing. It's very there's just like a lot of blooming to it. Yeah, and that's basically it. They both also, it's kind of like they're both connected to this woman, and I don't know why I'm getting that. Do I say it? It's so okay. If anybody had watched Sense8, the Netflix series, dude, I fucking love that show, and I think I don't know if the last season came out. I have to watch it. Or the most recent season, which I think is going to be last season. But basically, I don't know if you know the character Angelica and how she kind of like connects two people. I think that's how it was depicted. Like because I haven't watched it in a long time, but I think that, so it's kind of like two people came from this one person, or two people are somehow connected to this one person in the ethers, and they all share a same vision, or they're all listening to her as the guide amongst the both of them. And through that, it's like they have their own vision, right? Like independently they have their own vision. They share a vision of hers, and then together they're going to kind of ground this vision in terms of materializing it out into the world, so that there's like an even greater cause and effect in an abundant and beautiful way for all involved, okay? Which could be like the world community, the human community, the animal community, that type of thing, right? Like it's just like three big communities. It could be like even divine feminine, divine masculine, and then the greater good for both of them. You know what I'm saying? So however you see it fit, like, you know, however, it's not actually however you see it fit, it's however your intuition feels it for you, okay? I like how I corrected that, because that's really not how it's, because it's like when you see it fit, it's kind of out of the ego. It's kind of being like you know, like I'm gonna make this fit for myself, and it's like, no, you don't want to do that. You want to feel if it is fitting for you, and because that's how intuition works. So, and you guys are both, oh my god, this is hilarious. You guys are both thank you 18 for that. That was so funny. You guys what did I want to say? There's a diamond-like sense, like, okay, so there's kind of like, I don't want to say a pressure, but there is kind of like a pressure to get this done. And I don't even want to say pressure, though. I want to say there's movement, okay, to get this done. Like, both these people really care about whatever they're going to kind of bring this red-headed passion to. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be all good. And it's actually kind of like, I actually feel that this is where the personal growth was happening today, in just expansion. It was just an expansion of, oh, look at that. There's a lot of yellow here. So it could be a lot of light. It could be a lot of like willingness. Also, there's a lot of purples here, which, you know, definitely depict the ethers and spirituality. So really cool, really cool. And it's going to be healing, right? Not only is it going to be flourishing, it's going to be healing for, excuse me, for like all these people involved, and these two included, right? So, and three included, actually, right? So, because I feel like spirit, I mean, even though they're more healed than us, maybe they need more healing, right? They just need to make sure, excuse me, that the maintaining of the healing is actually in place, rather than being like, fuck it, we, you know, try different things, some worked, some didn't work. No, they're like, the spirit, or the greater spirit, or spirit itself, I feel like is the executive, what do I want to call it? Like, not assistants, but like executive, and whatever. Like, I don't know, it's not coming to me, but they're really like overlooking, they're overlooking how to maintain the peace out of everything by sending us divine wisdom, divine love, and, you know, to really kind of, what's it called, prolong the inner peace that, you know, that they believe that this world should have, right? Oh, I knew that was going to happen. I wonder what you guys are seeing. That's why I keep on looking. Like, what are you seeing? Okay, so you're seeing a little bit of, like, what's going on here. I have to breathe. Okay, do we look any one of these up right now in the book? Getting no, so we're moving on. All right, so 18. Oh, there's something else here that they want me to share. Oh, interesting. Remember how last time, I just remembered, I remember describing this a different way, okay? But I just remember the ladder, and it may have been for the career reading too last time, like last week's career reading, I'm not too sure. But the whole thing is very interesting. As I was saying, Capricorn, like Capricorn Aries energy here, kind of like, you know, you've given life your all, and you've been kind of like ascending and climbing, and today's kind of like you're putting your sword down in terms of just like giving yourself time to relax. I mean, today's Sunday, the 7th day of kind of the world's creation, right? So, or God's creation of the world, if you want to put it that way. And so it's like a time of rest. So it makes a lot of sense that you're kind of like resting your energy so that you can, because something bigger is coming, right? So it's very interesting how I'm being guided to describe these yin and yang cards, because this is more so as if like before and then after, right? Like that's how it's going to happen. So, and I've never described cards like that. So what I wanted to say here is, is that, so with the ladder, right? Like last time I depicted it saying like, oh, we're like climbing and ascending the ladder, and it's like, now I feel like it's done because now I'm not getting to kind of like even touch upon it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just personally find that very interesting, because it's kind of like, we've done that. Sorry, I spit all over the place, but need more water. So I don't give a shit. So that's basically what I wanted to kind of just say there. All right. So, all right. 18, we need the highest and best believing card placed at the top of this deck in terms of in terms of what card would best apply to our career aspect of our lives. Do I stop shuffling the cards right here, right now? Wow, it's like the confirmation. Yes! This is so exciting. Okay. So the confirmation is like the heat again, which is so interesting. So thanks, 18. Change. All right. So this is what we have to believe in. Very interesting. So again, like I said, it was very interesting how they had me depict before and after. And that's because we're probably going through a transition period right now in terms of, you know, our hearts, but also creating a shinier heart because it's the diamond. It shines bright, right? So it's kind of like, okay, give your heart a break because in the future it's going to have to shine a little bit brighter. Not that it's not shining bright right now, it's just going to have to shine bright in a different way that maybe you're not used to, or it's going to have to kind of shine bright next to a person who you're not used to, right? Like you're not used to having around, right? So it's kind of like, so there's a lot of change going on here. It's really funny. I just came from, do I share it? Yeah. I just came from Walgreens and I looked up and I saw that I keep sweating. It's like the corner of my mouth too. It's like the weirdest thing. Bubbles. No, I like looked up as I was walking in and I saw the number 5 and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So 5 here is definitely change, and I forget to mention that a lot. I do mention that a lot actually. Positive change. That's what I see it as. 5 is positive change. What I don't mention though, and I don't know why, is freedom. 5 is freedom. So, and when I say positive change, I actually have been feeling that all day, that there has been a transition period going on, that it's kind of like even emotions, like I could say from the heart, that you've kind of been before, right? In the before essence, you've been guarding against, like kind of like maybe you know you've been passionate about something, but you know it wasn't the time. And you know that you can do it in a better way if given a better opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And intuitively, it's like you kind of know you had the clarity of knowing that you can do something. You will be doing something. Put it that way. You will be doing something that your heart really wants you to do. Once you feel that everything kind of has lined up, right, in the way that you've envisioned it to be and or better, all right? So that's the whole thing. So I feel like there's something coming from inside of you, bubbling to the top today to kind of just basically get out with the old, in with the new, but get you also prepared for like this transition either is kind of like a grieving of sorts, like damn, like, you know, you're letting go of this past where, you know, your heart was blocking a lot of shit out just to kind of survive in terms of the right here, right now situation. So it's kind of like sacrificial stuff was kind of being bubbled up to the top, where it's like you were maybe even like the last sadness of it, the fact that you're like, damn, I wish I wasn't that sacrificial. But like the thing is, I was just watching I'm like binge watching while I'm resting, right? I'm binge watching the show, and in it said, it's really hard not to care so much, right? And so that's where I was like, wow, like that's really fucking crazy, especially for those people out there that are more so about, you know, that they care so much and they're willing to like go the fucking like I was gonna say 100 yards, but like it's more like 1,000 yards. Like it's very like they're very willing to be self-sacrificial, you know, in different periods of time in their life where they see that they are needed, but you're now actually coming out of that so that you're just basically not. You're having to kind of like unsoil yourself is basically what I was getting, which sounds fucking horrible, but it's kind of like you're being plucked out of the soil now to be transferred over to somewhere else and replanted, right? And so that kind of change is not like it's it's going to be awesome, actually, when you get replanted, right? Because I feel like you're getting replanted in a bigger pot where you can really kind of expand and grow, and, you know, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be super fun, too. It's just that, you know, there's a transition there that you can't ignore in terms of the feelings that it comes with, that that those were bubbling up to the top, along with, like, as they are getting rid of, like, as they are bubbling to the top and you're kind of expressing them, whether through crying or whatever. And I had to cry today too. I was like, yo, just let it come the fuck out. Like, help me get this out, because I was feeling it, you know? But at the same time, and it could be a lot of stuff that you're kind of like that you've become very used to, that is now dropping away or dropping out of your life, to then regain more of this light, okay? Or this light-filled life. And also this creative life, which is like what you so like deserve. I've been getting so many different, you know, like creative, like things, like creative positions, like creative careers that have been coming up, especially in design, like design or artists or musicians. Like, there's so many people taking on right now or about to, I mean, there's so many like life events, okay? And so one of the life events, like, here are the life events that I feel like are happening like immediately for people, is the essence of dropping the singlehood for some people, or I want to say for most people, for those of you that have waited so long, it's like dropping the singlehood to kind of unionize yourself with another, which is a huge life event. Then you have, you know, if you've been working at a career that wasn't so emotionally fulfilling, it wasn't paying well, it's like you're dropping that. And you could have been a caretaker in a sense too, like a spiritual person, just doing the best that you could spiritually wise, like caretaking, but also working on your personal growth, that type of thing. That's no longer going to be there. That's falling away, so that you can literally begin to, again, use your heart in a different way, right? Not that it wasn't an issue before that you were a caretaker. It was just like, now you're being asked to use your heart in a more diverse and a different way, which could also, you know, contain a lot of variety and shit. But the whole thing is, it's like, but now it's kind of like, oh, I'm getting very, very hot confirmation on that too. So it's like now, but as a caretaker, this is the whole thing. As a caretaker, some of you are just doing it to do it because that is like what you were intuitively kind of put into that situation for, but it's not your passion, right? So, and you know that you've been feeling a little kind of dead inside for a very long time, like in terms of dragging this out, especially if you love change and you love like excitement, you love life, like that could have really sucked you dry a little bit, right? Sucked the living life out of you, all right? And now it's like, again, that could also be another life event where it's like, okay, you're coming out of this like boring or stagnant situation, and now you're kind of getting prepared to like, yo, there's going to be a lot of passion, and I feel, again, a lot of heat, like a lot of passion in many different ways, right, coming at you. And that's also a new emotion that's been lying dormant for a very fucking long time, where it's just like, oh my God, this is another thing to get used to. So again, things are just like going to just like they're gonna mind blow you, but also but also on an emotional level. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we're transitioning into, since it's also Pisces season, we're transitioning into more of our dream-like life, okay? So you can actually be very much so catching yourself where you're just like, I don't feel like I'm even here right now. Like, where you're in your space, like maybe you're thinking, or you're so with your imagination lately that you're just like, I can't even concentrate on what I'm doing. I can't even like, and again, I'm getting a lot of heat. It's like, I can't even concentrate on what I'm doing. I can't even like it's just a lot coming at you energetically, and you also using your imagination towards it to be like, well, what beautiful things are going to come out of this? And you're not really being in your grounded right now, because you're so yearning for something new, as in change, but change is here. So I'm really excited. And it's beautiful that it's a blue card. So again, changing your career, Change in the aspect of, here's where the party funness comes into play. You've been doing your work for a very long time by yourself also, right? You've been very independent in terms of doing it by yourself. But now it's like the universe is gifting you a fucking party in your career, where it's like there's the change where it's like you get to collaborate with basically the highest and best person meant for you in this, like, I want to say for the long run, okay? So this could be like a blend of both marriage and career, okay? And some sort of creativity, doing maybe something more further. Maybe actually, since there's 3 pentacles, it could be, it could be just that. Marriage, career, and then doing something together in terms of like marriage, you being inspired in your career, right? Like kind of reset and kind of just, you know, extra excited about it, like given a boost in your career that you're doing on your own, but also coming together to kind of create something even bigger and better for this world, which is so super fun. Okay. So that's exciting, right? So again, all this needs to be downloaded into your mind. And it's like, that's where the resting time needs to kind of be into, like, you need to kind of consider that, and that's what's possibly taking place today, probably for the next 3 days, I'm feeling, but also, it could be a little bit longer than that because of the fact that, you know, transition periods don't happen that quick sometimes. And not only that, but Mercury retrograde is coming up, which is like a period, as we all know, it's like kind of like miscommunication and just like technology not working at its best and things like that, right? But like, not to be scared of it, there's a reason for that too, right? That's why we just kind of accept what comes with it, because I always say blessings, like I'm just so grateful for the blessings that Mercury retrograde does bring me, and I just like X-nay on the other like stuff that, you know, that it rules, right? It rules over. But when it comes down to it, what was I gonna say is that, what about the Mercury retrograde? What the fuck was I talking about there? Is that I think it's gonna kick it, oh, the Mercury retrograde and vacationing. So I would actually suggest that for every Mercury retrograde, that you literally give yourself that's how I've set myself up, where I literally am going to give myself vacation times. I think it lasts like for about 3 weeks too. So it's like, if you can really lay low in terms of giving yourself some relaxation time when it does come around, and it does come around like every, I'm not going to say it because I wanted to say every 3 months it comes around, or every 6 months, I can't remember, or maybe it's like 3 times a year that it comes around. So it's like you can afford to literally, even if it's a staycation, you can afford to literally, for the health of your body, take off for those 3 weeks, or set yourself up in a way where you're doing a lot less work around that time, and you're kind of just keeping it flowing and fun. And set yourself up in like something that you can look forward to in terms of work, rather than workhorse status, go, getting shit done, right? So it's kind of like, just give yourself the time to just like, you know, inhale, exhale, that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Really replenish yourself and go on a retreat is what I'm trying to say. So that would be my recommendation. What else do I need to say about this? All right, they're telling me nothing. So yeah. So freedom, guys. I'm so excited. It's like positive change, freedom. Do I read from the book at all? No, they're telling me no. All right. So, so yeah. So just believe that really great things are coming in terms of the career. You know, I feel like some of you may kind of like feel these changes coming on, especially those that can envision shit and like imagine shit. It's like, okay, you need to get prepared for the stuff that might get in your way. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of like, you like shit how it is now, you're open to change, but at the same time it's kind of like you're doing a lot of like reassessing in terms of like the risk. Like what if I want to, like for instance, like if you haven't do I go into that? All right, they're telling me no. So it's basically like you're doing a lot of, there's just a lot of I feel like prep work beforehand that you've put into in as you wait for these changes to come about, right? But so that's what I'm saying. You probably already knew like what you had to kind of like change up. But I also feel as though once you meet this person, once you know you're brought into union, which 3 actually could mean a union too. I feel it's the power of 3. I love it. Then what did I want to say there? That basically, is that you might have to reassess your business game yet again, because you have to also take into consideration the compromises that need to kind of go on for you to flow with 2 schedules, you know what I'm saying, together, rather than just one, right? So it's just kind of, and not only that, but scheduling like, okay, 2 schedules, but also, this is interesting. That's what this could also represent. It's like your schedule, another person's schedule, and then the schedule of whatever else you're working on in terms of expanding that project that you're working on or that you will be working on together, right? So these are the kind of risk-taking reassessments that need to kind of be taken a look at so that you can kind of stay balanced, okay? And balance also is the number 3, actually, if you think about it. I didn't even put that together, but it's like this person is like in charge of their life, and they can be looking at 2 different things and kind of like, you know, doing the balancing act where it's like, okay, you're the grounded, like middle pole type of essence, and you're just, you know, weighing out like, you know, just keeping things like elevated and just, I don't know, like in balance, right? So yeah, 3 could definitely depict balance. All right, do I say anything else about this right now at all? All right, no, I've said it all. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up for this reading, and I will come at you tomorrow with a if guided, I will come at you tomorrow with knowledge, spirituality, and self-love, self-everything. All right, so that's basically the corner we're gonna rebalance tomorrow. Rebalance, discuss, see what's going on there, and yeah, that's super exciting.